नमस्ते। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। स्थावरं जङ्गमं व्याप्तं येन चराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। अज्ञानिनातिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। गुरवे नमः। अखण्डमण्डलाकारं व्याप्तं येन चराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे अहं निर्विकल्पो निराकाररूपो विभुत्वच सर्वत्र सर्वेन्द्रियाणां नाच संगतो नैव मुक्तिर्न मयाशेहो दितानंदरूप रूपहार शिवोऽहम्। पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। असतो मा सद्गमया तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमया मृत्योर्मा अमृतं गमया। ओ गणानां त्वा गणपतिं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमं ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पदानश्वं नूतिभिः सीदसादनं प्रणो देवी सरस्वतीवाजेभिर्वाजिनीवती। अस्य श्रीशुद्धशक्तिमाला महामन्त्रस्य उपस्थ इन्द्रियादिवर्ण आदित्य ऋषिः दैवी गायत्री छन्दः सात्विककक्कारवट्टारिकपीठस्थित श्रीमत्कामेश्वराङ्कनिलया श्रीमत्कामेश्वरी देवता ऐं बीजं क्लीं शक्तिः सौः कीलकं श्रीदेवी खट्कसिद्ध्यर्थे जपे विनियोगः। श्रीमाता श्रीमहाराज्ञी श्रीमत्सिंहासनेश्वरी चिदग्निकुण्डसम्भूतदैवकार्यसमुद्यता उद्यद्भानुसहस्रवा चतुर्बाहुसमन्विता रागस्वरूपपाषाढ्य क्रोधाकराङ्कुशोज्ज्वला मनोरूपेक्षुकोदण्डपञ्चतन्मात्रसायिका निजारुणप्रभापूरमज्जद्ब्रह्माण्डलमण्डला चम्पकाशोकपुन्नागसौगन्धिकलसत्कच गुरुविन्दमणिश्रेणी कनत्कोटीरमण्डिता अष्टमी चन्द्रदलितस्थल मुखचन्द्रकलङ्का मृगनाभिविशेषका। I bow down to Guru, Parma Guru, Paratpara Guru, Parma Paratpara Guru, Parapara Guru, Parma Paratpara Parampara Guru, Parampara Guru, Parameshti Guru. Shanti Shanti Shanti. May the Guru's grace be one and all. May the Guru's grace be shed upon the one who needs on this earth. May the peace. May the peace be going ever expansive to one and all across all. Oh. Namaste. So far I was talking about Natya Shastra and 108 Karnas and its various aspects. So let me, try to engulf and encapsulate whole of the very theology of Natya Shastra or 108 Karnas from the truth or nitya or real. There are two aspects to everything over here. What one needs to understand is that one truth that most of us miss upon, though here is where most of us fail to understand. A very key aspect though. Next, everyone has had gone to that extent to understand the same. Yet again, scientists have always gone to that extent of getting to that root cause of the human existence or human from the viewpoint of Anu and Paramanu, which is what one needs to understand. At a terrestrial existence, and this being the subject from the objective viewpoint with the cosmic existence or that verse existence, which includes uni, multi, and omni, which is ever expansive, consisting of, as I said, moons, umpteen number of moons and umpteen number of stars and umpteen number of galaxies and umpteen number of suns. Though we will see only Dwadasha Adityas and unseen galaxies of 64 and unseen galaxies of seen galaxies of 64 and unseen galaxies of 40. Here is where one should be and one should be asking a question. Practical reference to the context of human existence as a single identity. And here is where one needs to compare that Anu and Paramanu as. That is the point which I want to really emphasize. Now, if one says, this is the truth, it is indeed, and as a matter of fact, though there will be a lot of questions as to why are we talking about words over here. Because this body itself, this humanoid or this human existence is words, whole of the words. So this is one of the very important point which one needs to understand when someone is trying to get to understand Natya Shastra or 108 Karans from the truth point of view or from that Nitya point of view. This Anitya, Nitya are the two aspects. Always remember this. So the very concept of even those white holes and black holes also come into picture from the scientific viewpoint over here. So the Natya Shastra or 108 Karnas is not only the subject or text for the answer, but it is the very text for the science base level, to understand at a base level. We have almost all the answers to whatever questions. So likewise, the star's energy also starts depleting. Like, this energy levels do not remain the same. Just like human existence or humanoid, which gets expired after some time, once his or her karma is over. We are one single entity. Whole of the process or whole of the theology of performing that character or that mythological character is to understand the very existence of human or humanoid or human existence from the viewpoint to understand dharma, artha, kamya, moksha aspect, where sura and asura aspect comes into picture, nitya and anitya, sat and anasat. Here is where that Advaita philosophy of Shankaracharya comes into picture. So, and how do you understand that? From the form and formless nature. And what one needs to understand is that feeble life or that energy which I am talking about neither existed nor can be destroyed, but none of them know its existence or its roots. But once he or she gets to understand that non-existent energy source or Shakti, so-called Shakti, which is used in Shakteya Parampara. Okay, Shaiva Parampara and Shakteya Parampara is coming from Daiva Yuga or Daiva Loka, which is not what you call possible for a normal humanoid or human existence itself. It's next to impossible. The reason is that is the level wherein this human existence last stage during the last 2 seconds of leaving of the body, this goes to that either Daiva Yuga or Daiva Loka. That's where it goes back again in the form of small feeble light. So probably this is what one is missing upon in today's time. And this NASA or CERN or even the scientists cannot even send that vehicle, space shuttle or any kind of equipment there. Once it crosses that terrestrial level, that zone, okay, that's it. Forget about whether you are getting messages or not. NASA might say that they're modern technology that can get us to, but none of them cannot. Even they cannot decipher that whatever signals that they get in the frequency, and whatever that frequency data that they get from the frequency mode, is again cryptic. It cannot be understood by a normal humanoid or human existence. One needs to really get into the vibrational aspect, science of vibration and science of sound, which I believe scientists could not have what you call scientists would not have created that equation as it. Though they might have what you call Albert Einstein could have created the theory of relativity, E is equal to mc square, and Newton's h equal to ut plus half gt square. So this is what one needs to understand, and this is what is called actually like Vedanta, Veda plus Anta. And this is where the humanoid or human existence close point comes into picture. So the complexity and composition of the human entity is directly or indirectly related to that of seen and unseen, or which cannot be felt. Though if one starts feeling that energy source, if one gets to feel that energy coming deep within your body, that means he is a realized soul and he will not come back to this material beings. Understand this, ladies and gentlemen. So, at the same time, it cannot be felt and it has to be practically implemented. However, for the one has to go through a process. Then, to really get to that level, get to understand the exact reality and understand it to the core. That is the first point. Second point, understanding of the planes available in the universe, in the words, which constitute the multi, omni, and uni. And understanding between the virtuality and actual reality. And the lines Antarmukha Samarajya Bahirmukha Sudurlabha Ekameva Advitiyam, understanding of real and unreal existence of the human being, understanding of Atman and Anatman in its actual basis, and truth as it is. To get to understand these, one has to discriminate between Atman and Anatman as a whole, and understand the multiverse as a single entity. Understand the words uni, multi, and omni. And in reference to the following scriptures of Akhila Anda Koti Brahmanda Nayaka Nayika. Understanding the concept of consciousness and its actions. And to get to this level, one needs to understand the very aspects of the states of conscious level. Consciousness, semi-consciousness, subconsciousness, semi-subconsciousness, super-subconsciousness, super-super-subconsciousness, and ultimate conscious level. So thus one needs to really go through this. However, when we as individuals understand these states of mind, right, these states of conscious state of mind, that's when you would be able to get to that. Again, if one is getting to the primary state where the individual's dual existence or the Dvaita aspect of the existence need to be understood to understand this uh, first primary state, so-called consciousness state. However, one needs to get to the in-depth and deeper roots of this four concept of understanding the very subject and object at its root level. This is the ultimate aim and this is the main purpose of Natya Shastra or 108 Karnas, ladies and gentlemen. To understand this truth. However, the conscious state needs to be understood at the base study level first. When your base is strong, that's when you can do it. Which has the following elements, which is our thoughts, words and actions. And here is where Natya Shastra's theology comes into picture, Charis, Vedas and Paravedas. And and past life or the past karmic deeds again come into picture. And without expecting anything in return is what actually one needs to understand. And see, 108 Karnas, incidentally, if you really see, this is where actually like the brilliance of what you call brilliance of Ramana Maharshi comes into picture. There are two aspects to this, Achala and Arunachala. Arunachala. Aruna plus Achala. Arunachala. Achala means something wherein you are in the present, but still you are not getting carried away with it. And Arunachala is a state of the highest level, as I was speaking about. After that, super subconscious level, ultimate conscious state of mind, which is what one needs to understand. And here is where that astrological significance comes into picture. And this is what is called true astrology. It's not about the predictions, ladies and gentlemen. And this is where the concept of yoga comes into. That Samayoga of Jivatman and Paramatman. Jivatman is that one existence having that identity or name. Paramatman does not have any name. To understand these two, to get to these two levels, one needs to understand that Anatman. What is that Anatma? Anatma is with one name. Let's say, to give you an example, live example, this so-called Naradla Ramachandra who is speaking, is that Anatman. But inside there is one more Atman. That Atman is that Jivatman which is there. This Jiva has that expiration. That Paramatman is that one when this so-called Ramachandra who is speaking, it is not Ramachandra who is speaking over here. It is the divine grace that is giving the frequency, and I am what you call transmitting it to you. Understand this. This is what is the important point in Natya Shastra and 108 Karanas. I know it is very hard point to understand, but this is the concept of Natya Shastra and 108 Karanas from the contextual viewpoint. So this is where actually, like, one can get to the level of this, understand 27 yoga nakshatras. 27 nakshatras as per astrology. Though the existing astrologers really do not have this understanding. They have, but at a subliminal level, at a minimal level. And this, if one is able to get to that yoga dharana, yoga dhyana, yoga drashta, yoga drushya, yoga maya, and yoga mahamaya, that's when he or she would be able to get to that yoga nidra avastha. And this is the beauty of Natya Shastra and 108 Karanas, ladies and gentlemen. This is a practical approach to, dance form as a whole. So the 108 Karanas study from the viewpoint of existence and expandable universe, which is dynamic in nature. And astrologers or Jyotishi Shastra is again based on the positioning of the terrestrial, celestial, bodies, planets, stars, the sun, and the moon, to interpret and predict human affairs, destiny, and natural events of the earthly existence. In the sense, once you develop that yoga dharana or yoga dhyana or yoga drashta aspect, you would be able to see the past, present and future. And in fact, you would be able to even gauge a person there, sitting over there, whomsoever. So, though cultural and socialistic integration, integration systematic approach is what you call embedded in this. That is there always by default. So connections to the cosmic expansion and karmic deeds are the two vital points which one needs to understand over. Natya Shastra and 108 Karanas, all in all, one needs to deep dive and delve into the subject, ladies and gentlemen. It's no easy concept. It has lot of depth in it, which one needs to dive into it. So, these planetary positions, if we see as per Natya Shastra or 108 Karanas reference, if we take, right? Once a person gets to that ascetic level or that spiritual elevation based on the rasa theology, these navarasas again are the key aspects in Natya Shastra. So that is the reason why these Natya Shastra or 108 Karanas is the very much primary aspect to understand the very human psyche or the human psychology, not only human psyche and human psychology, or from the neuro point, but from the astrological viewpoint also it has that significance actually. It's a very important point though. So that contextual and that conceptual reference to aesthetics and spiritual elevation. This is the beauty of Natya Shastra or 108 Karanas, ladies and gentlemen. And it happens if you have surrendered to that Prakriti and again. You are not the one who is doing, ladies and gentlemen, understand this. You are not that, what you call, if you have a name and if you are performing doesn't mean that it is your own power. Which is what I am trying to stress upon. Today, if I say, Naradla Ramachandra is talking about Natya Shastra or 108 Karanas, I am an idiot over here. I am a fool to say that. I am that servant who has surrendered to Mother Goddess there, who is telling me to tell this. It is not me who is telling, ladies and gentlemen, understand this. Naradla Ramachandra is Anatman over here. Anatma does not have any place. Anatma or that Jivatma. Ramachandra is arbitrary element. He is not having any knowledge. The only knowledge that he has is that is given by Mother Goddess or Lalitambika. She is telling me to tell this now, tell this now, tell this now. I am just interpreting and I am writing it, that's it. And I am giving you. Or else this right and left brain is with zero thoughts. If I keep that ego, it won't happen. So, how do you get to that level? When you reach to that spiritual elevation point, which is what one needs to understand. Keeping in view again how it is possible when you take control over your emotional quotient, sentiments quotient, dharma quotient, adharma quotient, kama quotient, moksha quotient aspects. And this is what is actually like referred to from the viewpoint of what from the viewpoint of Charis Vedas and depicting the nature and behavior of evolution existence. That supreme existence, bliss form, which includes pleasures also. There are three types of pleasures. One is that pleasure that is coming out of that divine intervention. Other is that pleasure which humanoid or human existence forcefully do that and takes that pleasure. Other is sensual pleasure, and the other pleasure is that illogical pleasures, which one needs to really understand. We are not able to discriminate these four types of pleasures. Ladies and gentlemen, sensual pleasure, divine pleasure, forcible pleasure, and irrational pleasures. If we are able to discriminate this, our life will go very much smooth. So, based on the celestials time and space travel and broader philosophy and realistic context across the cross domains of humanoid experiences from past, present, and future course comes into being. Such a complex, this humanoid or human existence application is a very complex, and it has its own complexity. So, if we really see, like, these planetary transitions using the, these planetary transitions happening and all, if we really see, like, if we take into consideration, like, if we take the rasa theory, like Shringara, Lasya, Karuna, Raudra, Veera, Bhayanaka, Vibhasta, Adbhuta, erotic, love, comic, laughter, pathetic, compassion, furious, anger, heroic, valorous, terrible, fear, odious, disgust, marvelous, wonder. All of these are emotional quotients, ladies and gentlemen, which one needs to express, but you should be knowing when to express and when not to express. That is what actually, like, it is like programming your mind or brain that do this at this time, do this at this time, when a dancer performs there. That is what one practically does, and this is directly or indirectly touching upon the very destiny or that astrological significance over here of the humanoid or human existence as a whole. It's not the planetary conditions or that planetary situations or that planetary, positioning. See, when you are taking control over all of these vargas, which I am talking about, of the rasas, your mind will get programmed and it will be in an equilibrium state, which is what I am emphasizing upon. And that's when the planets at a terrestrial existence level would be able to actually, like, will be assisting him or her. Think about it, ladies and gentlemen. This is what actually, if one says planet has a form, let's say Surya Graha or Chandra Graha or Rahu or Ketu, do they really have form? No. But yet again, to understand those, one needs to think about the form and then get to the formless nature. It has to be felt, ladies and gentlemen. And that is the reason why the five rules of human existence were introduced by this Saptarishis. Shaucha, purity, Santosha, contentment, what you call contentment, Tapas, self-discipline, Swadhyaya, self-study, and Ishvara, Ishvara Pannidhana, Ishvarapa Pannidhana, which means purity, contentment, self-discipline, self-study, surrender to that higher power is what is required. This is what one programs. This is what one aligns. This is what one realigns his or her thoughts in the mind and thus get to that. And this is where again Saptarishis have made it a point that north, south, east, west. In the north, Agama. In the south, again Agama. In the east, Papa. In the west, Punya. And this is the beauty of Natya Shastra in 108 Karnas again, ladies and gentlemen. So, Natya Shastra is a very big subject as a whole. So, when the birth takes places, right? Humanoid or human existence is formed, taken birth. Nobody knows from where it comes, when it comes, what is the time it comes. So, takes place at a place and time. The impact of the other planetary object in specific direction creates the impact, starting with Aditya. This sun or Aditya has that referral point for the birth of the humanoid or the human existence. Energy giver also. Thus controls all the other planets in the solar system though. Moon creating the weather patterns. Chandra of the earth, gravitational force, creating tides, etc. It again takes 27 days for rotation of cycles. Comparison to common biological cycle also 27 days, which is the key for emotions. Impact of the moon is visible through rain and water. See, this Chandra and Surya has that reference. How do you feel that? Again, Natya Shastra and 108 Karanas, and I will be explaining you whole of the structure in my next video though. So likewise, if we really look at the various aspects of this practical significance, like Jupiter protecting the Earth from meteorites and comets, and Saturn controlling every aspect of our life, and from births to cycle of the cycles of the end of the life, and axis of Earth and Moon intersect in the sects, etc., etc., and all of this is again based on the karmic deeds. They are so-called illusions and delusions of life. Maya and Mahamaya. North node is called Rahu, connects to the future. South node is called Ketu, connects to the past life. So human life, reason for birth starts and stored in spinal cord again. See, this birth of human existence or humanoid has all of this. And this is where the time and space travel starts happening, which is what one needs to understand. And this includes past life karmic deeds of the planetary motions getting aligned, and we take birth. Thus, our basic code is etched in the spinal cord. Think about it, ladies and gentlemen. The life proceeds from spinal cord to pineal gland. There are two glands. They are what you call two vital parts. One is spinal cord, and the pineal gland for expression and evolution. And this has to be actually like activated. This is practically possible in Natya Shastra and using 108 Karanas, which is what I want to stress upon. Now, how does this happen? Our body, this humanoid body or this human existence as a whole, is having 12 houses, right from toe to Sahasrara Chakra. First house is Prathama Bhava, and the second house is Dvitiya Bhava, and third house is Tritiya Bhava, and the fourth house is Tritiya Bhava, fifth house is Panchama Bhava. Likewise, Sashtama, Saptama, Ashtama, Navama, Dashama, Ekadashama, Dwadashama. Now, if we see, I do not want to get into the Lagna Karka there over here. Lagna here means, from the viewpoint of spiritual meaning, if we take in the literal sense, Lagna means that outcome, not really outcome, but that character, I would rather say outcome of the character, features, or whatever it is. So like if we take the prathama bhava, it talks about self, physical body, and other facial earth, phonic health, etc., etc. Put family and wealth and speech in the dvitiya bhava. Young or sibling valor or communication or motherly emotions. So, valor in the dvitiya bhava, and communication, mother emotions, happiness, comforts, prospects, properties, etc., come into the uh, uh, tritiya bhava. There is a lot of difference between tritiya and tritiya. Understand this. Okay. So if I take Panchama Bhava, it talks about the children, creation, saving, and love and debts. And Saptama again, Shashtama again talks about diseases, enemies, and Saptama again talks about the spouse, partnership, marriage, and Ashtama, Navama, Dashama talks about the longevity and death, dissolution, and fate, feelings, righteousness, etc., etc., and career and professional status from the authority. Ekadasha Bhava, Dvadash Bhava talks about profits, gains, friends, network, circle, etc. And Dvadasha talks about loss, spirituality, and pleasures. Now, if I if I really look at all of these are the aspects or the emotional questions or that thought process which gets stitched in the mind, which one needs to understand. Because this Natya Shastra or 108 Karnas has that referral point, which is what one needs to understand. However, I will be explaining the same in my next video as to how these are, affecting all of this. Though it might be hard and, bit complex, I would want one and all to take some time and think about it. The practical application of Natya Shastra and 108 Karnas in cross reference to this astrological aspect. Think about it, ladies and पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति। Stay blessed and have a real peace. May the Guru's grace. Bye. Have a nice day.